What's up, guys? It's Jagged Josh. I'm with my brother GRZ, and today we're going to talk about something.
Cue musical intro.
Yeah. Ba-ba-da-ba. Okay.
Coming soon.
So what's up, man?
What's up, bro? How are you doing?
Good, man.
What's new? What's happening?
Not much. Hoping to start TikTok soon. I'm trying to find ways to really be more productive, get my schedule filled up now that I'm here.
Yep.
Figure something out.
Feeling. I know that feeling.
Yeah.
If you do make a TikTok, though,
yeah,
there's no comment. That's it.
If you do make a TikTok, yes. Excuse me. So today's topic.
What are we talking about? What's the something that we're talking about today?
Yeah, the something. We're gonna do gaming today because I love games, and why not?
Yeah.
So question of the day: what game or games resonate with you the most?
Resonate. Geez. Okay. First of all, we're talking like video games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not like games or card games.
What happened?
Not like board games or card games? Or
yeah, hopefully stick with video games, but even board games too. Because I know we used to play Cranium all the time.
Yeah, strategy games. I play Dungeons and Dragons, obviously.
Obviously, nobody listening knows that.
What?
My brother does.
True. That's true.
My brother does D&D, and he's a really good dungeon master.
Thank you.
I keep telling him to do videos about it, but he refuses because he's camera shy.
I'm not camera shy. I've talked about it on stream before. I think it more has to do with that it's a lot of setup to get it to look nice on a video. When we could just hang out and do it. But yeah,
why not? Do videos of you just hanging out and doing it. You don't have to make it look all super professional. What's that?
Yeah, but you know
show?
Me.
Yeah, that's true.
I love production, even though I'm poor and can't afford it.
You could just do it like independently. All you need is a few lights, some a mic or two, and camera and get some editing, and that's it.
Well, hey, when if I do wind up finding a place of employment here, been kind of displaced thanks to the current world situation.
Yeah.
But if that ever does happen, who knows?
Yeah, man, you should totally
get back into things. So you just might start seeing a Dungeons and Dragons stream or something.
Yeah, man. I'm here for it.
But aside from that, I guess I want to clarify. What do you mean by resonate? Are you talking about because I feel like there's a lot of games that I like for a lot of very, very, very different reasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same.
So I don't know. If I'm just answering the question quickly off the top of my head, I would consider the games that I have impacted me the most, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So I would probably say The Last of Us, the first one. I think it was a marvel of storytelling.
Nice.
I could talk about it more if I need to, but I just think that game was amazing. And I think the only other game that really comes to mind quickly would be Skyrim, just because for a completely different reason. Just because it was so much fun when I first started playing it, and I couldn't stop playing it because it was just so much fun. But yeah, I think those are pretty much the two that initially come to mind. I think gaming is just so great because it kind of lets you experience a story the same way you would experience a book or a movie, except that you kind of have a little bit of control over the narrative, and you kind of get to be a part of that story as it's being told. So those are the two games that I think about that I think really capture that, you being a part of the story, from the type of media that games are. But there's a lot of other games that I like, so I don't know. What how would you answer that question? What do you think of when you think about that?
Honestly, I think it's kind of hard for me to answer that too, because there's been so many games that I've just loved, and it's hard to find. I think for me, it's hard to find a game where it's where I have that kind of feeling, I guess. It's been a while since I've really played through a whole narrative-driven game.
Yeah.
I guess maybe a game that I feel like does resonate with me a lot is Fallout New Vegas.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I think we had it on the Xbox 360, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
that sounds right.
That's
yeah,
when we
that
first started
right.
playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember, I think that, and I didn't play with any mods, because I think at the time consoles didn't have mods.
No, they definitely didn't. That didn't come
Right.
out till
And
like
I think
Fallout 4
we
era.
we got the game when it was like new too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the first Fallout game that either of us had ever played before.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and it wasn't even like a we bought it because it was Fallout. We just bought it because it was a game.
yeah,
know?
yeah. Because we were just like, I think it's because like you were like looking for a cool, and you saw the cover, and you're like, this looks cool.
Yeah, it's something like that. Like we weren't like Fallout fans or anything.
No. I think that was the game that introduced me to Fallout, and I was like,
Yeah.
I remember playing it the first time, all the way through, like the whole story, and I think the ending that I got was what's the ending where you throw the guy off the bridge?
Spoilers for an old game. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's the game's like 10 years old.
Yeah, I know. More than that. Is it the? I guess it depends.
I think it's Yes Man.
That's the Battle of Hoover Dam, but
Yeah.
you could like there's like 4 different factions. You can decide essentially who you want to win, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I remember I didn't fight the Legion, or it was like my speech was so good at the point where I just talked Lanius out of like, you know that option?
Yep, talked him out of fighting.
Yeah. So I didn't even fight them.
Yeah.
I had like high charisma and speech.
Nice.
And then it ended where I threw the guy off the bridge. Who was that? I think it was Yes Man.
I don't know. Maybe.
I forget. But that was the ending. And I remember
game.
feeling like super accomplished.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was a
really
good story. Like even at the time when the game came out, because there were other games that I think were like graphically and gameplay wise more impressive than that game.
Yeah.
And I remember that was like my biggest complaint. I was like, this feels old, but I enjoyed it so much because the story was like so good, and it was just fun to just like raid and like get stuff.
Yeah, it's great. That's a really good example of, I feel like, the same thing of like having a storyline the same way that you have a story that's in a book or in a movie, and just having the ability to kind of influence that story, kind of have your part in it. Like you like you were saying, like you had your charisma all the way up, and you were able to talk down the big bad guy from, doing the bad thing. Like that's a unique ending that's unique to that specific play style, whereas mine was, I had an entirely different experience,
Right.
And so it's just really cool that like you can kind of, well, with certain games, obviously role-playing games more so than others, but like having that ability to really be a part of the story. We'll talk more about it, but a quick tangent. I remember because when I was younger, before we really got the PS2, which I think was our first like real console, like we had like Game Boys and stuff, but before we got like big into games, I would read a lot. I used to read a lot of novels as a kid, just pretty much anything I can get my hands on, like Magic Treehouse comes to mind. There was this one book that I was so into when I was a kid called The Bridge, and I always wished that like I always used to say when reading these books, like, man, if I was a character in this story, I would have done that totally different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've been like, man, if like these characters are so dumb. Like I just wish that I could be there and like tell them this thing or like fix this thing, and like I wish that I could like change this because I don't like it, like that kind of thing. So one of the things that I think that's part of the reason why I'm so drawn to role-playing games with choices and options specifically, because like I love that, like, because obviously someone else has written the story and like I appreciate them and I appreciate what they've done, but I love having the opportunity to kind of take the world that they've created and the characters that they have created and kind of just explore different options within that, like actually have a bit of agency, you know, over how the story ends and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's why. I think that's why. See, I was never really into reading or books.
Right.
Not until like recently. Like story stuff. But growing up, I just wanted to like shoot things. That's probably why I liked games. I preferred games that were a little bit like mindless, like not mindless. That don't have like
that was worded a little strangely. We want to clarify that you don't have murderous intent, but
that's fine. People know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
But like, not necessarily like mindless, but I did like I don't know. I think I probably preferred games that didn't have that much of a story or too much going on. Like I know games that resonate. One game that resonates me, like, or two games really that resonate with me. A lot are SSX3 and SSX On Tour.
Oh, okay, throwbacks. But good games.
They're like say what you want about them, but they're like very good games. Like the SSX series.
No, they're amazing games. If anyone disses SSX, we have problems.
Yeah, facts. Because that game was incredible, especially for like the time and the technology behind it. Yeah. Like the snowboarding and the skiing felt so effortless and smooth. Right. The gameplay was just so like it was so well done. Like it felt like I could pick that game up and play it again, and the gameplay still feels very solid.
Yeah, I mean I agree 100%. For anyone who doesn't know, SSX was a snowboarding series. It's not a very popular game, but I think it's an amazing. I wouldn't really call it a sports game so much. I feel like that has a different connotation.
But extreme sports, you know.
Yeah, it was definitely like a racing kind of theme, but like with snowboarding and skiing and
but there was also like those different modes of the game modes. There kind of was a story to SX. Well, I know in SSX3 the whole story is you have to climb your way to the top of the leaderboard, like so you like battle people. There was like characters and
it's like a progression system more so than a story. Like you kind of different levels you played through in an order.
Yeah, but there was like these characters and they had voices, so it gave them life and it made you like motivated to like go and like beat everybody. Stuff like that.
Yeah. Go out there and win the tournament.
SSX On Tour was a little less story driven, I guess you could say, and was a little bit more about like the gameplay and like flashiness. Like SSX On Tour, especially like the whole art style and the direction of the game was very different from the third one.
Yeah. I remember that. I actually liked On Tour a lot more than
I kind of did too.
The others, honestly.
Yeah, I kind of did because I feel like SSX On Tour was like probably the peak of the whole series because they got the gameplay down pack and they knew their audience, so they just went all out, like with all the little cartoons and the menus. They made the menus not boring.
That was good.
You know?
That was a very good design choice from that game.
Yeah, it was, especially for
everybody who worked on that.
Definitely, and especially for the time it came out because it was so relevant.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack to the games are phenomenal. Like they really fit, like the feeling. Like I like the whole system in SSX On Tour where you get the speed boost, and when you like boost, like you like go really fast, and the music changes, and the music has that effect where it's like in a tunnel. So it's like it really immerses you in that feeling of like getting to the bottom of the mountain.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a great example. There's so many really good like gems out there like that. That really capture those experiences. I mean, I think if we're being honest, we can go to the completely other end of the spectrum when it comes to games and talk about, I would say, games that are a completely different feel and genre. Games like Mario. Yeah. Like when I was a kid,
they're amazing.
Loved the original Mario games so much.
Really? I did too, actually.
No, I love the challenge. Like that's a completely different side. You have the one side of gaming that's like storytelling, and like immersing you into an experience, whether that's like this deep involved story or like an experience of like SSX where you've got like you know you're a snowboarder. This is what it's like to be a snowboarder. You have games that are like that kind of give you that experience. But then going back to what you were saying about like mindless games, like you have games that instead are more of like a intellectual challenge.
Yeah.
Where there's like a puzzle or a map that you kind of have to figure out how it works and figure out how to solve it. And I also really appreciate those kind of games. I remember playing Mario. No, I was just going to say, I remember playing the original Mario and like trying to like beat it like, you know, as quickly as possible without dying. Like that was like it was just like the challenge of like how difficult the game was. You only had those 5 lives, you know, and so it's like I gotta get as far as I can without dying, or I'm not gonna be able to beat it. And like the what original 8 or 9 worlds, whatever it was. And I loved that experience of like trying to challenge myself to like beat the game, you know.
Yeah, I also I like I said, it wasn't until recently I got into like more story-driven games, and I even like the whole puzzle thing. Although there are certain like times in games where you have to do like a little bit of a puzzle sequence and try to like. Sometimes I dread it. I'm just like, oh great, I gotta use my.
You
brain
don't like the puzzles?
Yeah, like I just copped this game.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Hellblade?
I have heard. Senua's Sacrifice.
Yeah, so I got it because it was on sale on Steam, and bro, that game is nuts. Like it's crazy.
It good? I actually have been wanting to
dude, it's like first of all, it won awards. I'm not done, so I don't want to hear any spoilers or anything. I know you don't know about it, but
no, I don't know anything about it.
It's very so it's like it takes place in like in Midgard. It's like a Norse it's like a Norse god
of war
theme.
Type of thing.
Yeah, so it's like that kind of universe.
Got it.
But the main character, I don't want to spoil too much, but the whole game is kind of puzzly, which at first I dreaded, but it's like it's good enough so where it's not like too complicated, but it is challenging.
Right.
And the game has like a dynamic difficulty setting, and the combat in the game is actually really good because I think the game's made by Ninja Theory. They do good games with good combat.
Okay. Nice.
But it's a crazy game, and the main character is like she struggles with like mental illness. So and throughout the game, you hear voices in your head and stuff like that, and it's like a crazy experience. It's like so crazy. It's like a really crazy experience, and it's like really cool.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I've seen like little snippets of gameplay, and it does definitely look really like visually it looks really cool, but also the gameplay looks really interesting. So
yeah, and the graphics are impressive too. Like it looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, I think most modern games kind of have some element of puzzle solving in them somewhere. Yeah, however pronounced it is, and I think that's just part of the nature of building a game experience. Where like, if you just coast through the experience and you never have a challenge, then I feel like most people wouldn't enjoy that experience. Right. Because at that point you're just watching a movie and clicking a button.
Yeah, even Doom Eternal has like those sections where it's like there's puzzles you got to figure out.
Yeah, I think it's just part of game design at this point, like getting stimulating your brain, you know.
Yeah, but like I feel like certain games can do without that, or even like I think that games that I would even say that games that don't have it could do with it. Like there's a certain point where it becomes a little bit repetitive, where almost every game you play now seems like very similar to one another because it's always fight, puzzle, fight, puzzle, fight, puzzle. Like that gets annoying.
That's that feedback loop. I mean, yes, it's annoying, but I think that so like if you think about the game design in general, and we could literally do an entire episode or two on game design, which I'm very much into. But you think about it like if it was a fight the entire time, and Doom is a great example because Doom is like you get a gun.
Doom is mostly fighting.
It's mostly just fighting. It's like you get a gun. There's demons everywhere. Kill as many as you can. Like that is Doom. It's like fight for your life kind of thing. But if the entire 10-hour, I have no idea how long Doom is. But like if the entire 10-hour experience is just a constant fight, would get annoying. You would eventually either get bored or get drained from doing the exact same thing over and over again. So that's why you need that kind of feedback loop of like you have like fighting, and you kind of have to feel out how long that should take, and then you got to give the player a break in gameplay so that every time they pick up the controller, they're not immediately fighting, you know. So like a section of downtime, you know, cutscenes, a spot where you can explore the world and do all of that. But most of the time, that downtime comes in the form of like some kind of puzzle, something that's like a challenge that keeps you engaged, but that's not gonna like make you pull your hair out, or at least it's not designed to make you pull your hair out,
right?
That kind of thing. But I would agree though that I think that a lot of times games have a similar, not just a similar like game design practice, but like even I would say a similar like structure, where it almost feels like they're following the exact same pattern as other games. And I think you find that a lot more with shooters, and I'm going to pick on them a little bit, but
yeah,
games like Call of Duty and stuff like that kind of, in my opinion, are very notorious for these kind of super repetitive feedback loops.
Yeah.
I don't know how big you are into shooters and stuff like that.
It depends on the game, really. You know,
I don't really play them a lot because I don't. Those games don't resonate with me. I mean, that could be an entire question in itself,
right?
But I would say that those games don't.
Yeah, I mean, I like shooters. So I don't think there's anything wrong with them. But because even shooter games usually have storylines and stuff, and
yeah, absolutely, and that's not. I'm not trying to diminish their value as a game or say that like you shouldn't play them. I'm just saying, me personally, they wouldn't be on my list.
I feel that. I mean, even the Fallout games are considered shooters, at least the new ones. But I feel like that one gets a little bit more of a pass because it's like basically like an RPG, you know?
Yeah, I'm not sure I would classify it as a shooter, and I think that as someone who has at least kind of played shooters, I played a little bit of Black Ops 2 when I was in college. I personally think that the Fallout games have a notorious reputation for being really bad shooters.
Yeah, they do.
Gameplay wise, it's not like you don't pick up Fallout because it's like, oh, look at this new shooter. It's like you pick up Fallout because it's like, here's a story experience that I'm going to get to take part in.
Right.
And like kind of like what you said about New Vegas. I like, obviously the Fallout games are great, and I'm a fan of Bethesda, but to your point, like their main focus is going to be the story, so they're going to worry less about having a super refined gameplay system and having like the absolute best, like world-shattering graphics. Like it's going to be kind of like, not that those things aren't important, but there's only so much time you have to focus on something. So I feel like more of the attention goes to character creation and choices and options and dialogue and stuff, more so than having amazing gameplay or amazing graphics.
Yeah, all I know is that Fallout 4's gunplay is way better.
That is definitely true.
Because
that is, like, miles better.
Yeah, I think it was because they had some DICE employees help work on the gunplay. And DICE, EA and DICE, they do the Battlefield series and Battlefront.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Sure. I don't know if I'd call them shooters.
I don't know I would either. I would say they're role-playing games with shooting elements.
I'd say,
other things.
I would say they're more shooter-type games with role-play elements, at least the new ones.
Okay. I guess that's true.
Because New Vegas feels a lot more RPG-ish than 4. That is
definitely true.
Yeah.
That is definitely true.
Because 4, not to insult 4 or the writers of 4, but it kind of felt like I felt like it would be easy enough to play and mistake for an RPG if you're a dummy.
I think that the main story probably suffered a lot, but
it did.
As far as being, like, I feel like if you think about the core of role-play game design, I think everything was there. It was like you had dialogue options locked behind walls for certain stat checks, and they were very, very diverse depending on where you were in the game and everything. I think the big mistake was that they kind of went with a main storyline that kind of made it seem like it was kind of important, and so you kind of tried to chase the main storyline, and then you found out it wasn't exactly the best part of the game.
Right. And there's a lot of distractions to the main story too in that game.
Yeah, I think that like there's that weird disconnect, and again, could do a whole episode on this, but I do think that there's a bit of a dissonance between the what you're playing and what you're being told.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think that they're passable as either.
Yeah.
Shooter or RPG.
Right.
I think that there's something in there for if you like either of those genres. Fallout has something for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's probably the way I'd put it.
Yeah. There was a game that we used to play. It's like a Star Wars game.
Which one? Star Wars?
Yeah, it was a Star Wars game that was really good.
Battlefront.
No,
because
I don't know if we had it. I think we had it on the GameCube. I think it was like Jedi Academy or something like that.
Star Wars Jedi Academy. That actually sounds kind of familiar, but I'm not like 100% sure.
Yeah, it was a cool game because you played as a Jedi and it had pretty good like controls and everything.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't really remember it too much.
That's another genre of unto itself that you could also spend an entire episode talking about.
Yeah.
Games that are based off of other concepts that get popular, like movies. Movie games are notoriously bad.
Yeah.
I think that it's so funny because I was playing recently Jedi Fallen Order. Have you played that?
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, so I actually, I think you talked about it the other day. So
it's really good.
I did recently play that, and it was very good. And I think it's so funny because it's like, I was thinking when I was playing it, I was like, man, a game based off of a movie that's actually good. And I thought about it, I was like, man, Star Wars came out in like the 70s. Like,
yeah.
Like, it took a long time for them to get a good game out.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Battlefront as well. Obviously, Battlefront 2, the original was very good. But it's just funny because it's like, and even when Battlefront 2 came out, that was like during the era of the prequels. So it's just funny that it took so long, so many years of Star Wars being a thing and trying and failing with all of these like, Kinect games and Game Boy games that just weren't very good.
Right.
Until they finally like, got it right, I guess. I guess all the fans who are kids grew up and studied game design and actually made a game that was good,
Yeah.
So I think that's really funny because I remember, in addition to Star Wars game, playing that as a kid, I remember playing the Spider-Man movie game.
Yeah,
and I actually kind of liked it. Like, it was actually
that was a good game. Spider-Man 2 was probably the best. Notoriously,
just compared to other games, though, like, it was not amazing graphics, not amazing gameplay.
No.
And it's just funny that, like, you kind of have that weird disconnect where you can definitely see a difference between a game that's being made by someone who wants to tell a story, who wants to create an experience for someone, and it's unique, versus, hey, this movie did really well, let's try to make a game out of it to make more money.
Right.
Like, there's a huge difference in those games, you know?
Absolutely.
And so you can really feel when someone's passion has been poured into a game versus like a money grab, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of those.
Yeah. There definitely is.
But there's been a lot of games based on movies and TV shows that have done really well.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that
good games.
There are some. I think that I'm generalizing when I say that. That usually it's kind of like a money grab kind of thing. So they don't put too much money into the game, and then it just winds up being subpar.
Yeah. Or like based on comics or like stuff like that. Like the Batman games are amazing.
Yeah, but I think there's a proportionate to like how old is the media that you're making this thing off of, and how much does it differ from it? Because when you're trying to make a video game that's just based on a movie, and there's really not a lot to draw from, and there's not a lot of room for interpretation, I feel like the game also winds up suffering. Like, the Spider-Man game was good, but they had a lot of room to do things that weren't in the movie.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what I think makes it good. And something like Batman, came out in like the 50s. There's a million different stories that you can tell with the character,
exactly.
and the version that's in the game is not the version that's in the comics. It's reimagined. So it really is a new story, a new experience, and there's a lot of passion poured into it. It just happens to be based off of something else, you know.
Right.
But yeah, it's good stuff, man. I love gaming. I think that it's an experience that sometimes has a little bit of a stigma. Where it's like, oh, you're a gamer, and it's like, it's not like it's
Skippy. I am.
It's a fandom like anything else, but like,
yeah,
I think that it does have a little bit of this weird stigma where it's like kind of seen as maybe childish or immature, and I just think that mostly comes from people who haven't really gotten a gaming experience,
right?
And they just associate like, you know, Game Boys and things like that, and
but I
like
think that
phone
there's
games and stuff,
right? But I do think that there's a little bit of truth, and I guess you could say old heads like don't really understand gaming and stuff like that, or people who aren't really into it. I think there is a little bit of truth to their what is it called?
To their view.
Not you could say view, but there was a specific word I was looking for where it's like you step back from it. I don't know what word I'm looking for, but I think there's a little bit of truth in what they say, because it's one of those things that you could just get lost in for so many hours, and you could just invest yourself into it. And in gaming, you know, you could say whatever, but gaming has always been a lot more immersive than movies and TV. Because even as a kid, like, you know, as a parent, you gotta like not let your kid watch too much TV, because eventually at some point they're either gonna like think that it's real, or they're gonna try to do things from it, or just like get so lost in that world where they forget reality. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm guilty of that. Like when it comes to games, like I like to step into all these different worlds, and like you know, open world games, like, you know, Skyrim or any other. And I'm trying to think of like good open world games.
Red Dead.
Witcher, like
Witcher,
games like that. GTA.
GTA.
It doesn't matter what game is. Like it does for me. The way I like to play games, I don't care what I'm playing. I like to really immerse myself into it, because I feel like that's how you get good. And also like you can fully appreciate the art.
Get good.
You can fully appreciate the art. Like for me, like I love movies, but I do not. Sometimes I don't like watching them with other people. Not even like my family or friends. Like I will.
Did you like to get the experience?
Yeah, and also because you guys talk way too much during it, and and like my friends do the same thing. And if I'm in that kind of situation, I'm probably gonna join in. Like I'm gonna talk to and say things,
right?
Because that's, I don't know, I guess that's just kind of people we are. Like we watch it. I think that's how creatives are. Like, you know, Dad is very creative. So when he sees movies and he sees certain things, he asks questions and he reacts. Like I do the same thing too.
I'm so guilty of that. You said that, and I low-key was like, oh snap, I do talk a lot.
No, I'm guilty of it too. Like I do it too, but when I'm with people that I can be comfortable with, like my friends or like my family. But like honestly, if it's a movie I really want to see, I want to see it alone. Because like I really want to like immerse myself in that world. I think
I agree.
I think it was like an interview with like Tarantino or what's his name, Scorsese. He's one of those big directors that was saying like he was embarrassed to watch movies in front of certain people because they would just talk through it, and he was just like, you don't watch movies like that. Like that totally disregards the art. Like I know it's cool to like critique and everything, but I think it was Tarantino said where he was watching a movie and somebody said something, and then he got really upset and rewinded it so like he would watch it. And it's just like, because like, you know what, that's how I am when I watch movies like alone and stuff like that. I really do not want to hear people's critiques and stuff like that. And when I'm watching a movie, sometimes I'll say things to myself, but like again, I'm still really immersed in the movie, and that's how I am with gaming too, because I see it as the same thing. Like watching a movie and playing a game is kind of
like
similar.
You want to get the full experience, so you kind of shut everything out, you know, and kind of enjoy the art form.
Yeah, that's why they say no talking in movie theaters, you know.
I see that. Although and not to spend too much time on it, but I do think that stigma is I do think that there's a level of truth to that for kids specifically. I'm not saying that like once you become an adult you kind of get out of that, but like
I was gonna say that's kind of true for adults too.
Well, I think that if you are a responsible, healthy person, then I don't think that the stigma is founded. I think anything taken out of moderation can be an addiction and can be bad for your well-being.
Yeah.
But I mean, I really don't see the difference between gaming and, you know, getting really into sports or getting really into a certain fandom, you know, or having any other hobby, really. I really don't think gaming is any different from any hobby.
Any other vice.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's any different. Like, you have people that get into comic books and that wind up spending millions of dollars and getting in debt because they're buying too many. You have people that... And people look down at that like, oh, what a nerd, like he's a loser. But then you have the exact same thing, people playing fantasy football, spending way too much money, you know, and losing money and spending all of their free time thinking about sports and watching sports games and
exactly.
Not losing sleep over watching like stuff on ESPN, right. You know.
Like if you like unironically seriously play like fantasy football, you're a dork.
Yeah, I mean, let's everybody's got their thing, right?
Exactly.
You know, like let's not. I would say let's not call anybody a dork, because if you're going to call one person a dork, you're going to have to call the other person a dork too, because they're doing the same thing. You
if somebody, dude, if somebody called me a dork, I'll be like, "Yep."
Yeah, well, right, exactly. It's like
you gotta own it. You gotta like own it. You gotta like. Do you think that people that's like an insult? Oh, you a big nerd? I'll be like, heck yeah, I am.
Yeah. That's good. That's a good attitude. That's a good attitude. But like, I just think that that if you are a healthy person, you know, you don't really have to worry about that, because,
right.
I mean, I love gaming. I do. And right now I'm unemployed, so I can spend more time on it as usual. But when I was working, I didn't do it all the time. Like,
right.
I had a couple hours.
Dude, I don't even. I stay home most of the time, and I'm not gaming all the time. Like, mom and dad think I am, but I'm really not. Like, I'm like working on projects. Sometimes I work on mods, and like sometimes I just go out for an hour just to walk, like just to get out of the house. Like I don't game that much, but I do game a lot, but not anywhere near as like I used to when I was a kid or something.
Right, exactly. And so I think that, you know, the stigma is kind of just like I think of like, you know, the basement troll, you know, like
yeah,
he's 40 years old, he's living at home, he's got his computer open in the basement, and like none of the lights are on. He's overweight, you know, with pizza and
Doritos, Mountain Dew.
And he's just sitting there in front of he's got the controller in his hand and the headset on. He's just yelling obscenities at some 11-year-old, right? Yeah. That's what everyone thinks, and that's. But I think that's kind of a little unfounded, because
I mean, there are people like that exist, though.
Yeah, there are, but you find those people in every hobby. You got people that take it too far, you know what I mean? So I think
you got like the old head dad on the couch, like sitting there with his beer belly, watching football, like, hey, look at my team scored, my team. It's just like, bro, come on, you're gonna tell me
it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And so I think that, you know, I think that those people are missing out, because I think that what I'm trying to say is that I think gaming is actually a really amazing art form.
Yes,
you know, it combines the experience of a movie with agency, you know, with your ability to influence that storyline and experience it from the perspective of one of the characters. And I think that's something that's really cool for story-based games. And then obviously there are other games that are just an intellectual challenge, that are, you know, fun because they stretch your brain in different ways of trying to figure a puzzle out, or trying to figure out how to fight a boss, you know, things like that.
And then you have games that are just like fun for the sake of being fun.
Yeah, just a good time, just some entertainment for you to pass
like
the time.
Platformers, Mario, Crash, Jack and Daxter, like stuff like that.
like no responsibilities, just kind of have some fun, you know. Something to relax and unwind for an hour.
Like the skate game that I play, like there's no story. It's just you go around and skateboard. It's like one of those games where
just having fun.
you just have fun.
Yeah, Well,
But
that was a good question. That was a
word.
nice exploration of video games.
Any games you played that are like really bad?
Really bad?
Yeah, bad games.
Yes. Quite a few. Let me think. What was the most recent bad game that I played? Are you counting mobile games?
Kinda, not really. I mean, most mobile games are bad.
I was going to say, pretty much every mobile game that I've ever downloaded and been like, oh, this is fun, has just wound up being real bad. Like, just a bad copy of some other good game.
Yeah.
Games that are bad. Okay. I think the last truly bad game that I played was it's actually kind of older, but I played it recently. It was the I can't remember the name of it. The Final Fantasy game that came out on GameCube.
Crystal Chronicles?
Yes.
You think that game's bad?
Yeah, I was emulating it, and I was like, man, I hate this. I was like, this is such a grind. This is so... Like, I think that most of the Final Fantasy games like that, most of them are good because they have good stories that you can follow, but the gameplay is, like, insufferable to me. And so Crystal Chronicles was really bad because it was like... not only was the gameplay insufferable, but the storyline, in my opinion, was garbage. So it was like, I was like really upset because I was like, I kind of wanted to play, because I remembered, I think we owned it at some point, and I was like, oh, I really want to play this, and it's not good.
Yeah,
I didn't like it. I had a bad time.
I feel that.
I feel like there was another one that I played recently too that I downloaded on Steam and was disappointed. I'll open my Steam up. But what about you?
I'm trying to think.
Any?
Well, I remember this one game that we had when we were growing up, and I'm almost 100% positive Mom and Dad got it for us because you know Mom and Dad. I think it was the Bible game on PS2.
I don't even remember that.
See, that's how bad it was.
If that existed, I legitimately blocked that out of my memory.
I remember it being really bad. Oh, and another bad game, I think. I only played it a lot because, like, I really liked the movie. But all in all, like, when I look at it, like, the game's horrible. It's Madagascar for PS2.
Ooh, yeah.
That game is trash.
Yeah. That's a good example of what I was saying earlier, that, like, that's a money grab game.
Yeah, definitely.
That was like Madagascar's popular. Let's make a video game based off it. Yeah. That was bad.
The movie was good, and the game was horrible.
Yeah, I feel like that's usually the case.
Yeah.
Just a quick design. Not a lot of thought put into the gameplay. Not a lot of thought put into the game.
It was definitely crash grab.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know other than that. Nothing comes to mind. I feel like I don't usually spend time or money on a game if I'm not sure that it's going to be a good experience.
A BioShock I didn't like.
Really?
Yeah, I remember playing it for a little bit, and I was like, this kind of stinks.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because I had a bad story. It was just kind of boring. Like it wasn't.
Yeah, no,
it didn't have enough substance.
Yeah, I feel you.
The aesthetic was cool, the art style was cool, the story wasn't that bad, but the gameplay felt a little lackluster, and like it was one of those games that was trying to be like innovative, and it kind of was in a sense, but it just didn't have enough meat, you know. Like
I agree. I not that I agree, but I can see that. I didn't actually finish BioShock, but I can see that being a criticism of it for sure.
Yeah, a good story though. And I haven't played Infinite, so.
Well, I've heard that that's the best one.
Yeah, but I know how the game ends, and I hate it. Like I don't like that. I don't like that ending. It's horrible.
I figured out what game it was that I downloaded recently, and I was like, "Wow, this is bad," and I wasted my money. Green Hell.
Green Hell.
I'm so sorry if anyone who likes that game or a developer of that game ever finds this, but Green Hell was hell. It's a survival game, and I love survival games. And it's like it was marketed as like this really realistic survival game. And so, quick criticism of it. So it's like, we'll quickly explain the game and then give a quick justification for my criticism. The game is you wake up in the middle of the Amazon rainforest or whatever, you're exploring and you get lost. You have to manage not just your food and water, like most survival games, but your sugars and your proteins as well. And you have to manage your sanity, or you start hallucinating, and these hallucinations can actually like hurt you and deal damage to you. If you get hurt or bit by a bug or something, you have to actually like examine your body with controls and look around for things that you need to like actually heal with different items. It's a very, very like in-depth, like almost simulator game of surviving in the jungle. That being said, it's brutally hard and winds up trying to be realistic so much that it's unrealistic because you have to eat like 3 square meals a day or you die.
Wow.
And
That's
so
annoying.
it was just a brutal experience because everything that I said just then was, when I heard it, I was like, oh, that sounds like fun. And then I started doing it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I hate this. So I have not played it.
That doesn't sound fun. That's some of the reason why I don't have like super crazy immersion mods for like Skyrim or Fallout.
Yeah,
Because
like
I'm not trying to I'm not trying to
micromanage.
I'm trying to eat or like I have to sleep. That's stupid. I'm playing a game.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm a big fan of survival stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
I'll download, like Frostfall and play Skyrim on survival mode and stuff like that.
For Fallout 4, I like to have advanced needs too because I actually like the hunger system that it gives because it's not like it doesn't happen too often, and I don't know, I just feel like it just makes sense to have food that you can eat instead of it having to just heal you,
Yeah, I'm kind of a fan of the survival things, but Green Hell was just it was another level of not fun.
Right.
It was like I couldn't actually play the game because I was too busy like trying not to die.
Right.
So yeah, anyway,
It's funny.
bad games.
Bad games. I'm pretty sure there's more that I just can't think of.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's been stuff that just has made so little of an impact on me that I cannot even remember it.
Yeah, true. So yeah, for the nostalgia corner, you said that you saw it and you don't know where the quote is from.
Yeah, I saw the thing and it just looked like a quote, and I was like, okay, I have no idea what that is, and I'm not gonna look it up or anything. I'm just gonna wait for him to tell me.
So it's the quote is, "Pay attention and follow my orders, or I will shoot you myself." Now, anybody who's like a true gamer that knows games like the back of their hand will know that that's from Call of Duty Finest Hour.
Guess I'm a filthy casual.
See, like I didn't even.
Call of Duty Finest Hour?
Yeah.
Is that like the first one?
I believe it was it was like the first Call of Duty spin-off game. Like, you have Modern Warfare and Big Red 1 and World at War. I think Finest Hour was like the first one that was like that spin-off one.
Okay. Interesting.
That was
I don't remember that.
That was the
wait. Okay, Call of Duty Finest Hour.
Yeah. That has to do with World War 1
that we had on PS2.
Yeah.
Where
World War 1.
Was it World War 2 or World War 1? 1?
Because you played as the Russians, the American, and British.
Is that the game with? I remember the opening. Like it's like got the same energy as the Skyrim opening.
Yeah.
Where like you wake up, like you look up and you're on a boat.
Yeah, and you're going to
the
Stalingrad.
guy's like giving you a speech.
Yeah, you're going to Stalingrad to fight the Germans.
Yes. Okay, I do remember that. I actually remember that now. I don't remember that quote at all, but I remember the game.
Yeah, that whole intro sequence is really good intro sequence because
yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's got like the same like, oh hey you're finally awake. Like, the same kind of energy, but like
it does.
You like start up and you're like looking around on the boat, and I remember that being a really cool thing too, where like you can like I was like, whoa, like, oh wow, I feel like I'm really like there. And like the guy's like giving this whole speech in English, of course.
Yeah.
Russian speaking English, of course.
Yeah.
About like you fighting the Germans or whatever, and like defend your mother, or like the mother.
Yeah.
I remember that. And then you like rush in, and it was just crazy.
So you get off the boat and you get your guns, and then you find the tutorial guy, but is basically just like some guy showing you the ropes in the middle of a war.
I don't remember anything after.
And he's like, sequence. Here, take this. And he's like a Russian guy. And he's like, pay attention and follow my orders, or I will shoot you myself. And he's like, come on. And then you have to follow him, and he tells you to do things. And
wow, that's a throwback.
That was a good game, though.
Good game. Great experience. Absolute.
I think that was honestly like my first ever time I ever played a first-person shooter.
Yeah, probably for me too, honestly, because we didn't really before PS2 era. I don't think there. I don't think we played any shoot. Like I didn't play like Goldfinger or anything.
Goldfinger, GoldenEye,
GoldenEye. Same thing, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I didn't play any of those kind of games. I just played like Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, I'm not the hugest fan of the Call of Duty games, like you mentioned before. I mean, I kind of like them, but did you know that they're the #1 selling shooter game in the world?
Yeah, it literally doesn't surprise me at all. I didn't know that, but I'm not surprised even a little bit. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's pretty insane, though. I mean, that's just a testament of how good those games are.
It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah. Yeah, me neither. But like, I play Warzone now, like Call of Duty Warzone, only like just to like mess around. It's like it's like a casual like online game, nothing too fancy, and I suck at it.
Yeah.
So
that's I wouldn't say that I suck, but I'm not amazing.
Yeah.
There were many a time that I let everyone down playing Call of Duty Zombies in college. So I'm just gonna take the L, accept my defeat, and move on to something else.
I know, right?
Man, that was good. It's good.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for giving the prompt.
Yeah, no problem.
Love talking about games. Like I said, there's like a million different things that we could talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
With game design and what makes a good game and different things like that. But that was good. That was good. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Also appreciate everyone who tunes in to Something.jpeg.
Yep, those on the Twitch and the YouTube. We appreciate
5
you.
of you.
Yeah. We appreciate you.
My roommates and close friends and family.
And mom and dad.
Anyone who shares this. Anyone who this has been shared with. Yeah, Thank you very much. We appreciate you.
We're trying.
We're making moves, man. I've got my new mic. We're gonna be getting you your camera. Mm-hmm. It's all gonna start coming together. That meme man. Just came into my head. the Kronk meme.
Nice.
It's all coming together.
Let's see if I can put that on the video podcast.
Nice. Please do. But yeah, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you so very much. Anything to say to the fans before we close out?
No, just thanks.
Just thanks. Just thanks for something.
Something.jpeg.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. All right, later, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in.